ELMI Men present Spotlight on African Americans in the Military.
Before dawn, November 8, 1944. Northeast France, 50 miles from the German border. Thunderous explosions from more than 500 heavy artillery guns shake the ground as George Patton's Third Army resumes its advance toward Germany. Cramped inside tanks near the front lines, the smell of gasoline and sweat filling their turrets, the men of the 761st Tank Battalion were about to make history. They would become the first African-American tankers to see combat in the U.S. Army. Before dawn, they received the order to advance. Reaching the front, they were met with fierce explosions of enemy shells as the Germans counterattacked. Infantrymen fell on all sides, and the air filled with smoke and death. Able Company's lead tank hit a roadblock, and Sergeant Reuben Rivers, under heavy fire, climbed from the tank to clear the obstruction, allowing his company to press forward in its attack. For his bravery, Sergeant Rivers was awarded the Silver Star and thus became the first great hero of the 761st. The motto of the 761st Tank Battalion was, "Come out fighting." Their story began long before they landed in France at Omaha Beach the month prior. In March 1941, 98 black enlisted men reported to Fort Knox to train in tank operations and mechanized warfare. Over the next year, more men joined, and in March 1942, the 761st was born. The 761st earned their nickname the Black Panthers while in France, standing toe-to-toe with Hitler's vaunted Panther tanks. Time and again, the 761st showed fierce determination and proved themselves to be men of valor. On November 10th, Sergeant Warren Creasy took command of another vehicle after his tank was disabled and, armed with only a machine gun, took out the enemy position. First Sergeant Samuel Turley, commanding a team under heavy attack, enabled his men to retreat to safety while he single-handedly held back the German onslaught, giving his life to save his men. When Reuben Rivers' tank hit a landmine November 16th, the resulting explosion severely wounded his leg. Refusing morphine or evacuation, he took control of a second tank, disabling 4 German tanks and forcing them to withdraw. 3 days later, during an assault on a nearby village, Rivers concentrated fire on the German position, allowing pinned-down Americans to escape. Rivers refused to yield until his turret suffered 2 direct hits, silencing his gun and ending his life. The next month, the 761st was engaged in the epic Battle of the Bulge, fighting to relieve the 101st Airborne Division, which was surrounded at Bastogne, Belgium. The 761st split the German lines in 3 places, helping relieve beleaguered Allied paratroopers. The men of the 761st Tank Battalion fought for 6 months straight on the front lines without relief. Despite suffering a heavy casualty rate of nearly 50%, they inflicted 130,000 casualties on the German army and liberated more than 30 towns, yet full recognition of the 761st's heroic service took time. In 1978, it was awarded the Presidential Unit Citation. Then, in 1997, 53 years after his legendary exploits on the battlefield in France, Sergeant Reuben Rivers was finally honored with our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. The 761st made history in becoming the first African-American tankers to see combat. Through their selfless service on the front lines, while proving to their countrymen that they were true and worthy soldiers, the 761st proved to be men of valor on and off the battlefield.
This has been your Black History Moment.